Today, I'm going to be going through the evolution of my gaming setup. I've been making content for about 2 years full time, and I've been making content about 6 years total. And I thought I would show you guys all my gaming setups from back then to now, and show you guys some pictures, videos, and also some of my room tours on this channel. I started my setup journey in 2013. This was my setup. Now, we all start from somewhere, but this was just exceptionally bad. I was running a keyboard and mouse off of Amazon combo, and I also was running a blue snowball, which is probably the most expensive thing in my setup at the time besides my laptop. The monitor I got for free, and I was running a laptop setup in this picture. Then in 2014, I took the back thing off of the previous setup, and I put it like to where I had a backdrop of like my streams, I guess. I was streaming back then on this setup in 2014, and you guys can see more of like my laptop and my monitor and my setup and stuff. And also the cable management was horrendous. Okay, don't judge me for my cable management, because I judge you guys with my cable management now. But guys, okay, listen, it was an old time. Okay, after about a year or so, I tried to revamp it, and this was 2015. I don't know what I was thinking here. I thought that maybe putting my TV as a monitor instead of the small monitor was better. It obviously wasn't. I was rocking the same keyboard and mouse, but in this instance, I took my bookshelf and put it into the square to have a keyboard thing, and then I stuck a bunch of books underneath to put the mouse on. So like I had a keyboard and mouse like floating essentially. I made a makeshift mic arm since I didn't have money for $3. I went to Walmart and I bought a lamp, and I drilled out the top of the lamp to put the blue snowball thing in. So the blue snowball had like this little stand that screwed in, and I screwed it into the lamp and put the snowball on top. So you guys can see it here. That's how I had the stand. Yeah, I don't know how I was this crafty at like 15 or 16, but I was. That's basically the first 3 setups I had. And then moving forward, then I started getting some better setups. In 2016, in October, I got my very first PC, and this was the picture. I just got a new desk, a PC, and I got a new monitor. Honestly, this setup was a massive upgrade for me. I finally had a PC, finally had, you know, a keyboard and mouse, still had a blue snowball. You know, I started upgrading. Then from there, I decided to make my own monitor riser. And then I bought a second monitor identical to the first one. And this was my first time of having a brand new setup. I streamed for 78 hours, my very first stream pretty much ever on CSGO Surf, and someone donated me $400. And it was one of the biggest upgrades. I was tripping. Okay, it was one of the best things of my life, and so that I was able to upgrade my setup with this. And I bought a Scarlett Solo, and I bought a newer mic, the newer NW700, very budget mic at the time, and it came with a boom arm and everything like that. So I bought everything I had there. Then I bought a new keyboard and a new mouse, which I got for Christmas. And this was like my very first like actual gaming setup. I think like 2 monitors, a gaming PC, finally something that I had my own space in. But as you guys can see, it was very crammed. It was very crammed. And this is when I started watching tech source for more advice. This is when I started like really starting to care about my setup. Let me say, this cable management on the setup was insane. Like, I really took a lot of time and effort into this setup. From the pictures you guys can see, the cable management is pretty solid. I can't even lie. Then after that setup, 5 months before we moved out of that old house that this setup was in, I decided to do one last overhaul. And this was like creme de la creme, best setup I built in such a long time. And I was like, all right, I'm getting a new desk. I'm going all out. I'm getting the Alex drawers, blah, blah, blah. And I went all out. And this is what I came up with. So this setup was like perfect. I loved it. Besides the keyboard and mouse, it could be better, obviously. But this setup got posted on Instagram, on these other people's Instagram accounts. It started getting like a lot of traction because of how clean it was, things like that. And this is when I started making YouTube videos back then on another account. You guys don't want to see them, trust me. And I started streaming every day on this. I streamed every day after school, and I started playing Overwatch, and I started playing World of Warcraft, and I started just streaming every day on this setup. And honestly, some of my best memories are from this setup. Then we decided to move houses, and I basically rebuilt the same setup in the new house. The new house was okay. I was really just trying to go for a really clean and minimalistic vibe on this setup. This setup, I had a really bad mouse pad, but at least I had an extended one, right? I ran the really bad Razer keyboard, and I ran the Razer Naga at the time, and both those mouse and keyboard combo was decent. It just Razer makes bad products now, but back then this was like insane, you know. I also ran the M50Xs that I had for such a long time. The only reason I switched was because they broke a second time, and I had that headset for like 6 years when I started my streaming career now. So this is what it looked like right then, and I really took a lot of attention to detail in the setup. I was like, new canvas, new thing, you know, let's start all over and make sure we kill it. I tried my absolute hardest. And then I graduated high school. And after the setup, I was like, you know what? Maybe let me change it up a little bit. Let me try to add some new things. So in 2019, I completely changed it up. This is like the Fortnite era. I think a lot of people will say. I got into college. I started going to college every day and then also working. At the time, I was going for cybersecurity manager. This setup was like, I started getting into streaming. Fortnite came out. I got a Ducky 1-2 mini. Like I was like the typical Fortnite kid. Really crappy PC. I was running a 1060 and a B350M with also a Ryzen 2600X, I think. It wasn't a bad build, but it was really like, no. And this is also the setup that I submitted to Setup Wars with. I felt like I was on a really, really strong suit on this setup. This setup helped me develop my actual setup skills. This setup is where I learned everything I know today. We'll also show a clip of the Setup Wars, you know, where he talks about all the specs in it, and it has more pictures than I have here.
Next up is Aiden, who's also a member of my Discord, and this is the setup he uses for streaming. It seems that everyone and their mothers are using the black Linman tabletop with the Alex drawers from IKEA. This is pretty much the equivalent of a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks that everyone always gets in fall. Aiden is rocking the Ducky 1-2 mini with Teo Ho keycaps in blue and the Ninja Air 58 mouse in red, which I'm guessing blue was sold out because there isn't any consistency here with the colors. Pretty good setup for streaming, but if I'm honest, I kind of prefer your older setup simply because it was a lot cleaner with better cable management. Also, I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't even like my video.
And then I got roasted live. 500,000 people that solved my setup and roasted the shit out of it. And then I knew that it was time to regrind and make an entire new setup. So then this is when I started TikTok, this setup right here, right? I started TikTok around this time, and this is when I started like really making videos, grinding, rebuilding my setup. And then I don't have a picture of the old setup, but we have a room tour, which I'll play clips from right now.
So this is going to be my room tour. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the G. This is a Nanolief canvas panels. I bought 9 of them and I made it into a form of a G. GutzyAiden, obviously. So this is an IKEA lamp I got. They don't currently sell it anymore, but it actually kind of attested to me getting a really viral video on TikTok a while ago and kind of kickstarted my career, so I always have it in my room just because of how special it is to me. Okay, moving on. So this is a little camera I have that's kind of running USB across the floor all the way to my setup that basically serves for a live back camera to my setup. So when I'm starting my stream, you guys can kind of see the behind the setup thing, so it kind of like shows on the stream. It's pretty cool. And then down below this, I have my record player that I got gifted from a couple friends. So I have a Logic poster that is for everybody, the everybody poster and everything. It's actually signed by Logic, one of my favorite rappers of all time. This is the top-down setup. This whole desk and setup is custom made by me and my dad, and it's really cool. Let me get into it all. The coolest part about this desk right here is not just because it's a desk, but it also is a vert stand desk from FlexiSpot that I mounted the top for. So see how it's flush now? If I want to make this a sit stand, all I have to do is raise it, and it raises up as well. It raises up off of the desk, and you can see it can go higher, and it's actually really cool. To store my camera batteries, I have these little things mounted, store all my batteries, and it's pretty cool, because then when I need a battery, I just pull it, and then when I'm ready to charge one, I just put it back up in there. So this is the GA custom desk that I made. My dad and I basically took a birchwood countertop, hosed it all down with fire, and that's why you see like these burns randomly, and then we sanded it and then put a GA logo. We taped out the logo and painted wood stain on there to make it dark. Really cool. It turned out really awesome. And then we sealed it, and now it's really smooth. Then I have like a thing by Infinite Objects. It's a infinite DVD painting thing. I think it's pretty cool. I just got it today. It's probably not the best spot for it, but it looks pretty cool. So then you're already wondering why I have a monitor taped to a boom arm. This is a Blue Compass, and the way I do this is a portable monitor that I got from Mousepad. and I velcroed the monitor to it and then ran the cables behind it. So when I'm reading chat or I'm wanting to stream on this setup and build a keyboard or whatever, I can literally mount the camera you're seeing right now to this Joby mount, which has a dummy battery and a cable that I plug into my PC, and I can stream from this area. Building keyboards, lubing switches, whatever, I can do it on this. Also, I can record hop-down footage without actually recording it on the camera, even though I still do for the quality because OBS doesn't have the best quality. And I can also put Wallpaper Engine, as you can see, on here. And then here is my light. I kind of have like a little lighting situation here. It's battery powered and I have it plugged in. And then I have my Alexa because I worked with Amazon at the time to make a thing for their YouTube channel, which is really, really cool. And then Alexa can control the whole room. So Alexa, turn my lights to blue. All the lights can turn to blue. After that, I have shelves. So let me show you guys what are on the shelves. So I mounted these like puck things to get lighting behind and for the bottom of the shelves just to make it look a little bit cleaner. I have G Fuel on this shelf, a plant, and a cam link. And then we got like some fan art. We got like a keycap set, cameras and stuff, and some anime stuff from Naruto because I love Naruto. And then I have this like banana hook thing I did on a TikTok where I mounted to the bottom of the shelf, and then I hung my Oculus to it. And I actually have skins for the Oculus coming. It's just taking a while. They're going to be custom skins to match my mouse pad. Okay, so moving on. You're probably wondering what the wall panels are. Basically, the way I mounted these, I didn't hot glue them or anything. I have nails, and my dad had a nail gun, and we just went in and did every corner, and it really lined up nicely. It looks really, really nice. So a lot of you have been asking about the GA sign as well. The cables are ran through the wall panels, and I custom cut this out of a countertop, and we basically sealed it the same way, burned it the same way. It turned out really, really, really cool. You can see that there's like RGB behind there. Let's get into like the gear I use. This is the Shure SM7B. I'm sure you've heard it or seen it on every single big person's YouTube channel. And this is the blue compass that holds it. I can move it up and down, etc. Best mic I've owned by far. Sounds great, sounds crisp. I have it just kind of on this desk so then I can kind of move it to where I want. And then when I want to build keyboards or move it to this setup or I need it for voiceovers, I can move it to this setup too. So that's why I wanted to put it right there. People kind of ask me, why didn't you put it back there? The reason is because if I have it right here, I can move to this setup frequently and I can move to this one and use it on my main setup, or I can use it on my alt setup. This is the Sony a6000. This is a Sigma lens that I have. It's a 16mm Sigma 1.4. I love this camera. Really good streaming camera. I have the box here. It's kind of a little scuffed. And I'm working on making this mounting system a little bit better. It's on a $12 Amazon boom arm from for a mic, like a really crappy mic. And then it's got like a newer Z mount and a adapter to adapt to it. That itself is kind of sketch, but overall it works, and the box kind of just holds it in place so when I shake the desk it doesn't move very often. For now, that's what I'm using, and I'm going to be upgrading that soon. So I use a Dell 144 Hz at the top. I use a MSI 165 Hz curved 1500R for the bottom, and I'm actually working on my sponsorship with Asus to get a new one. And then this is my 22-inch by Acer. It's like a vertical monitor for chat, and then I have the light kind of just mounted to the VESA mount bar right there. And then when I'm ready to start streaming, I just flick this on and it gives me a nice little catch light for that camera for the stream. And then I do have my C920 up top, but it kind of doesn't work right now. I don't know why. I use the G Pro, even though I do have a fully custom Viper Ultimate, which I'll show you guys in a minute. This G Pro, I love it. I don't know. And then I got this stand for the G Pro, which made my life a shit ton easier to charge. It charges faster than the actual cable, which is really cool. Okay, so the next thing I have is a coiled cable by Define Cables. They sent this out to me. I have a couple different colors. I'm testing kind of black right now with this mouse pad. Looks great. And then I got a custom build that AR Keys sent me a while back. These are like a pirate keycap set from KBD Fans, and I just think it fit the blue and black white kind of theme. So I work on mouse pads. As you guys know, GA mouse pads, I do them drops. This is the midnight drop, and it fits my setup immaculate. I love this. This pad is my favorite pad I've ever used, even though it's my own brand and I know I got to be a little bit biased. But overall, I've loved the quality of the pad. And then let's talk about my chair, because I get questions on my chair all the time. What chair is it? It's a Secret Labs chair. I made the investment because I had a really bad office chair at the time. And yes, I use the bottom pillow. And no, I don't use the top pillow unless I put it down for my neck, which yeah, overall is nice. And the chair has lasted me a long time. I've had it for about 7 months and I haven't seen any fraying on anything, and it's stayed pretty true to comfortability. No problems there. Talk about the headset I use. I actually have a headphone hanger underneath. So these are my Audio-Technica M50Xs. Love this headset. I have like the soft padding at the top, and I have the Brainwaves ear cups. As you can see, they're pretty thick. Love that headset. Been using it for like 6 years. Now let's get on to the PC. This is my PC, partly sponsored by ASUS. Special thanks to ASUS. It's a B550E with two LO140s on the side for the rad with an NZXT X63. And then we have an MSI 3080, which I'm trying to get an ASUS one eventually. And then I have 4 LO120s on the top and 3 QL120s on the bottom. I have cable mod cables for my GPU. I know it looks bad right now. I'm working on fixing those. But overall, I love the PC. I also have an Elgato 4K60 in the PCIe at the bottom. And overall, looks great. Also for storage, I have a 10 terabyte hard drive, 1 terabyte M.2. I also have 64 gigs of RAM with Trident Z. Pretty much everything in my PC. Here's my other shelf over here. This is where I keep my keyboard stuff. Mainly, I have a keyboard stand that were custom 3D printed by a homie of mine called Svizz. So thank you for those. This is my Vermilio keyboard, beautiful keyboard. This is like one of the best keyboards I've ever typed on. Then I got a custom Viper Ultimate by Nacho Customs. If you guys want to see it, here it is. Absolutely killed this, love it. And then here is the other keyboard I have. It's a Novel Key Creams Blink keycap set with E-White Tofu. And I love this keyboard as well, it's really, really nice. And then I have a poster over here by Colin Wasson on TikTok. He's a friend of mine as well, and he sent this over to me to put it in the setup, so I framed it and put it above my hoodies. This is on to my next point. I have a little hoodie rack. As I come in the door, I can basically put on a hoodie or throw it up here if I need to. Overall, I think that's the room in total. I also have a mini fridge. It's kind of empty right now because I have G Fuel sending me a bunch of stuff on Thursday. Overall, been building this for a while now.
Then, midway through 2021, I decided to move into the house that I live in today. This is when we really started building the setup. The setup you guys see today, the setup you guys know and love, and it's actually grown. We've added things, we've changed things, we've made things different. We also have more upgrades coming for the setup. I'll play clips from both of my room tours. The first one being in October.
This is my bed. And this is my dresser. Then the setup is on the left. This is the Shure SM7B, and I love this thing. It was a dream mic for me growing up as a kid, and now that I have it, it's amazing. The sound quality is great on it. Let's talk about the mixer. The mixer I use is the Go XLR, the full version, and I have a couple tracks for my stream, which this one is included with a mic, system, music, voice chat. It's a really cool way of displaying your audio to your stream. This is my Relino lights, and these are not as smart as, you know, an Elgato key light, but they do the job pretty well. These are just soft lights by Relino, and they're battery powered, so if you just plug them in, you just unplug them when you're ready, and you can take them pretty much anywhere with you, which is nice. But I usually leave these stationary and mounted to a $30 mount that you get on Amazon, which I'll have linked down in the description. But these are really great. I really like them, and they go pretty bright too. I think this is on 33%. If I turn it all the way up, you can see how bright this actually gets. It's pretty incredible. So if you want to get these, I think they're 200 bucks for two, which is incredible, by the way. This is my camera setup. This is an Elgato multi-mount. Basically, it's the multi-mount large with the arm and different pieces. So I use the largest one here and then a medium one here, and then I just mounted the ball mount right here. The only problem with setting it up like this is your camera is upside down. So if you try to use Discord, anything like that, you're gonna have issues with it being upside down, but on stream, you can just flip it on OBS. So yeah, that's how I have it set up. So I have a dummy battery, and usually I use the lens you're seeing right now on this camera, but I put a test one just to show you. This is my Sigma lens, but I usually use the Tamron 17 to 28 2.8. And then it has the little adapter to go to HDMI, which I run a 20-foot HDMI all the way through my setup to my capture card that's in my PC. I usually use a Cam Link, but I'm using a capture card in my PC. I'll show you in a little bit. Moving on. This is my Stream Deck, and basically I have the sleep mode on right now to kind of match the mouse pad. And then let's talk about my monitor orientation, because I get a lot of questions on this. I've been doing this monitor orientation for about 4 years, and I love this monitor orientation. I will never trade it because I love it, and the productivity flow is insane on it. So let's talk about this monitor in specific. I used to have a Acer monitor, but I switched to this Zai monitor that they sent out to me. Thank you, Zai. But now I have it on a little VESA mount right here. As you guys can see, it's on a VESA mount, one VESA mount, and it just mounts to my desk because I wanted to get it perfectly, and mounting it to the wall would not work with this multi-mount right here where I wanted the camera. So I did the mount here, and then these two are wall mounted horizontally on top of each other, stacked. This is a Dell 144 Hertz monitor on top, my Asus 280 Hertz monitor. This thing was actually sent out to me by Asus. They're both 27 inches, and this is a 24. This monitor is insane, by the way. 280 Hertz, insane refresh rate. I love this thing. I love playing Valorant on it. It's great. And then here's my other Relino light. This one's a little bit more cable managed than the other one because the other one I kind of just plug in, I use for other things. Now let's get into my peripherals. I switch between my keyboard and mouse a lot. Right now it's an October theme, so I'm doing Icky68 build with some orange keycaps and my new 8-bit collection for my mouse pads. This is my keyboard right here. It's an Icky68 with ink yellows. It's also hot swap as well. I'm working on getting better switches and better stabilizers. This is also the next big thing in my setup. I am a G Pro user. I love the G Pro. There is no better mouse in the world than the G Pro. But I also have a fully custom one that I use in when I use my blue setup. Same one in white, but Nacho Customs, fully customized, hand painted for me. This usually matches my Aqua mouse pad collections on my website, but it's really, really awesome. And this is also the same as that. It weighs no different. It's exactly the same. Just the art on it is different, and I don't want to use it in this orange and black setup, so I have it in my drawer. Moving on to the rest of my setup, including my PC and my shelves. I'm waiting for my other 3D printed stand to come for this shelf alone. I have a Tokyo 60 up here, and then I have a Tofu 60 right here, and then I have a little bit of an Xbox controller that I'm working on getting like an actual stand for it. This is my shelf. I have a couple G Pros, my Viper Ultimate, and my phone case, and then like some other knickknacks. This is my PC. I kind of have it in spooky mode right now. It is a Ryzen 9 5950X with a AIO, the Z63. I hope I get that right. Might be wrong. My GPU is a 3090 Strix by Asus. It's insane. I love this GPU. And also I have 64 gigs of RAM, Corsair Vengeance as well. So it's all sitting on the Asus B550E. Also, I'm running QLs on the bottom, LLs on the side, and more LLs. And overall, the cooling is insane on this thing, and it's been really great to build in. Moving on from the PC to the wall, we built this in a previous video. If you guys want to go see it, it's on the screen right now. Basically, these are the Govee lights on my wall. I have 4 packs of them, which are 6 in each pack, and you can only go to 6. So basically, I have 6 little links all the way to the center, and they both cut off right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and basically they all work together. So if I change the lights on the Govee app, I have wall basically set up as a room, and then you go to like scene, and there's all kinds of different stuff you can do. I kind of like this one. I think it's bubble. Bubble is insane, so you guys can kind of see where the line is. If I didn't show you, you would never know. That's how I did this wall, and it made it look insane. The way that I have these panels on there is these panels are actually hot glued onto a big piece of plywood. So it's a 8x4 plywood. There's 2 of them, and one of them is cut a little bit shorter to basically match the wall. So then we also cut the panels to fit into the right slot, and then we got some extra molding around it, and it made it look insane. This sign was actually in my previous video on my setup, and we actually cut it out of a countertop. We messed up on our first countertop, and we were like, you know what, let's just make something cool out of it. So me and my dad went to a garage, cut this up, and actually made it ourselves. I love it. It gives an accent to the wall, and it also matches the desk because it's the same exact wood. I just love this thing. So then I put some RGB on the back of it by Govee again, so they all match. Yeah, let's move on to my other little setup over here. This is actually a fully custom desk that I have. Let me show you guys the custom part of it. It has my logo in it, and this is for filming or building PCs, keyboards, whatever. And it's also a vertical stand, so you can move it up and down. It moves, and me and my dad basically took a flexi spot desk, made this custom countertop, and then replaced the old one with this one, and it's incredible. It looks great.
And this one being in, I think February is when we released that video, or March. This is my newest gaming setup. Since I'm a full-time content creator and streamer, my setup needed to be functional and have a really cool looking background. Me and my dad built this entire setup by hand, and it was really meant for me to be unique while keeping a really clean design.
So I'm going to be taking you guys through an in-depth tour of my gaming setup. Let's start with the PC. Now, the PC is actually a crazy build that I've built. Over the years, I've collected parts from other brands, and I've also been saving up money to buy this insane rig. It's been a long time coming for this build, and honestly, it is a pretty beefy boy. Starting off with the CPU, it's a 5950X 16 cores, I believe, 32 cores hypothetical or hyper-threading. My motherboard is a B550E ROG Strix from obviously ASUS. They actually sponsored that motherboard a while back, so thank you ASUS. My RAM is the Corsair Vengeance. It's actually 64 gigs of RAM at 3600 megahertz. The GPU is a 3090 Strix by ASUS. This GPU was not sponsored. I bought this one myself and it took a long time to find the dream GPU. It is a 24 gigabyte DDR5 and it's a damn beast. I only really play Valorant, but it's kind of an overkill. I've been playing more Apex and Minecraft on stream recently and this thing has just been killing it. Then for the power supply, I think I'm rocking a 1200 watt PSU from, I want to say Thermaltake. I'm not 100% sure. My whole specs list is also in my other build video, so if you guys are interested in watching my build video, it's pretty sick, so you guys should check that out. So the PC case I get a lot of questions on was collaborated with me and Nacho Customs and Power GPU, which is an amazing PC build company. You should check them out. They did all the glass work and then Nacho Custom painted the top of the case with some Kakashi and light blue, which is super clean. Power GPU gave me this case for free, so thank you guys so much for that. In total, I'm rocking an M.2 drive that's a 1 terabyte for my Windows, and then on top of that, I have a 7 terabyte hard drive for just different files and videos that I like to store. And on top of that, I have two 2 terabyte hard drives as well, and a 1 terabyte SSD for games. That's a lot. It's a lot of storage. Welcome to being a video editor. The case that I built it in is the Lian Li XL, but it's the Asus ROG Edition Lian Li case. Then let's move on to the desk. The desk is a Hardware Reflections countertop. I'm rocking 2 countertops and 4 AUX drawers. The way that I did this is I took both pieces of these birch wood countertops. I got them from Home Depot. They're unfinished. And then me and my dad took a propane tank, flamed the top of the countertop to give this like burn, not burn look. And then we sealed it with some Defwood finish on top of that, sanded that, and then did about 2 to 3 coats on that, and it made it nice and smooth. And I did that for both of my desks. One's an 8-foot and one is a 6-foot. Let's talk about my peripherals. I'm running a GutzyAiden mousepad, obviously. This one is unreleased and it will be out in April, so if you like this, I have 4 different colors. We have 4 different type of Skyline ones we are releasing. It's one of my best collections I think I've created, and I'm working on releasing that in April. So if you're seeing this video past April, it's probably out and you can go get it, and it'll be in the link in the description. Moving on, I run right now, primarily, I run the Viper Mini wired. I'm waiting for the Viper Mini wireless to come out. I think a lot of people are too, but I actually switched from the G Pro Superlight to this mouse. For my main keyboard, I actually made a full YouTube video on this keyboard as well. It's a D60 with Helios V2, 65 gram linears, and also running some nice white PBT keycaps off of Amazon. And then on top of that, I'm running a Shure SM7B with a Go XLR. I know that's pretty run-of-the-mill at this point, and I might switch to the beacon stuff in the future because I do have a full revamp coming soon. Then on top of that, for my peripherals, I'm running the HyperX Alpha 2s. I switched from the M50Xs because my M50Xs recently broke, so I've been kind of using these as like a filler, and they're not too bad. Then on the front of my desk, I have the Stream Deck. I use a bunch of different folders and stuff like that to cycle between scenes, skip songs on Spotify, and on top of that, I just have some lighting changes for the wall behind me. Also for my camera is a Sony a6400, and I'm also rocking a 12mm lens. Yes, you heard me, a 12mm lens. I know, super wide, but I wanted people to see the entire room setup behind me, and it looks really good on stream right now. Also, that is sitting on the Elgato multi-mount. It is clamped to the desk near the monitor, and it goes up and over to keep a clean and minimal look to the camera and make it kind of hidden almost. Now let's talk about my monitors. So I'm running 3 monitors in total, including a 4th behind me. Usually I don't use that one. So I'm running 4 monitors in total. 3 of them are 27-inch. They're all different brands, so let me go through them. My main monitor is a 280Hz Asus TUF with 27-inch wide. Also, the top monitor is a Dell monitor. It's a 144Hz Dell. Don't know the exact specifications on it because I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. And then also my vertical monitor is an Azai 21-inch that they actually sent out to me, so thank you, Azai. And yeah, I use my chat on this one. I usually usually use chat, and then when I'm off stream, I use Discord on this monitor. And on my main monitor, I play games, obviously, watch YouTube videos and stuff like that, also edit some videos. The top monitor is basically for anything else unnecessarily that I don't need. And also, a lot of people ask me why I have a monitor behind me. So when I stream on Twitch, I usually keep that monitor on behind me, and I'm actually getting some alerts designed to where when people give subs, it would show up on that back screen with their name and stuff. So then basically, if someone donates or does something big like a massive raid or something, it would also show on that screen behind me. And that's really the only purpose it's there for, and also just to keep a clean background on it for the stream. Instead of just having that empty space, I think it was kind of cool that I had some sort of monitor there. I don't know. That monitor, by the way, is a 240 Hz. Alienware used to be my old main monitor until Asus sponsored partial of my setup. So thank you, Asus. Moving on to the entire room, like the background slash the wall that you see here. So the wall is actually built custom by me and my dad, and we actually built it on a YouTube video. It's in my moving vlog slash building my $30,000 setup video. If you guys want to check that out, it's also in the link in the description as well. Essentially, the coolest thing about the wall is that you can do all these cool lighting effects that you can just make look so clean, and it doesn't show any little dots. It's very clean, it's all diffused, and it looks actually incredible. And there's actual directional lighting to the GA, so it kind of worked out pretty good. And then also, I get a lot of questions on the GA logo. Me and my dad built this out of a countertop, which is the same exact countertops as the ones you see on my desk. And it turned out really cool. It's one of the coolest custom pieces I have in my setup. And I think it just is a staple of my brand. So it's also because of you guys that I have this brand, so thank you guys. So now moving on to the productivity setup. Now, this is one of the biggest parts of my setup that really not a lot of people see. You can see it kind of on stream, but no one really knows what it's used for. And I'll go through everything that I use on this setup. This entire setup is basically for filming product reviews, B-roll shots sometimes, basically having another workspace in case I don't have enough room on my actual desk. So once we got the desk done, then it was trying to plan how I would use this setup. So I have 2 pegboards. It keeps my keyboard, switches, some camera equipment, and also just a Twitch sign that I like having in the background. This setup is basically for B-roll, and so I like to keep it somewhat clean or have my products that I'm going to review on it, so I know that I need to review those things, and it'll do like a really nice, it's a nice little storage area for sure. I also have nano leaves on the left side, and then I also have a lamp above it. This lamp is actually one of my favorite lamps, and you can't get it anymore. It's discontinued by IKEA, so no, I can't get you guys the link. I have a couple different keyboards on this side, and it's an Icky 68. I also have a KVD 67 Lite R3. I think I have a Gamma K67 and a Acco 3601 with ink black switches. So those are all the keyboards on my pegboard, and honestly, I don't really use any of these keyboards unless like I really need to swap one or I use it for a video or something. Overall, it's pretty cool. Also on the pegboard, I have a knife from CSGO. It's a Elemental Knives Crimson Web Karambit, and I don't think they sell these anymore. I've tried to look for some because I've always wanted some more for my setup, but I can't seem to find them anymore. So if you guys let me know where to find them, I'll leave a link in the description, so let me know. Then to the left side of my setup, I do have a mini fridge, and I usually keep drinks and stuff like that in this. Waters, sometimes G Fuel if they ever send me out some. For the most part, that's pretty much it. Then on top of the fridge, I have an on air sign that I like to keep kind of right in the back of the stream. Just kind of a cool piece to have inside the room. I also keep a candle right on top of this just because I like the spot for it, and it's pretty cool. Then to the left side of my monitors, I do have a stacked shoe rack. It's basically like interlocking little cubes that you can put your shoes in, and it's a super nice storage place for them. And on top of the left shelf, I have some product boxes. I have 3 mice boxes and a couple iPhone boxes. On top of that, I have a hanging plant and a Kakashi poster. And then on the right, I have 2 fake plants and 2 cameras that I used to use, just kind of as like a little novelty piece. It's pretty cool. So my lighting on the left and right side of my desk is a kit from Raylino on Amazon. They sent it out to me a while back. I've actually liked them a lot. It's basically a really nice lighting kit. They are battery powered, so you can leave them plugged in or you can unplug them and you can move them around, which is super, super nice, especially since I'm trying to do like little shoots and I need to move a quick light. I can always just pull them off my setup and go move them somewhere. I also have a racing sim that I sometimes use on stream, not very often, but I just recently built a frame for it. It's rocking the G29 steering wheel and the pedals. and also the shifter. And the stand is on Amazon. I'll have that link in the description. It's actually such a nice sturdy stand that I can just wheel it anywhere I need to. I cable manage it to where I can just put one cable in and it's pretty much ready to go, besides power, obviously. This is one of the coolest things that I bought for the racing sim, because then now I can just move it wherever, and it's really, really cool. Also, on the right side of my room, I have my dresser on the right side of my room, and it basically has some art, just some miscellaneous things like an iPad and things that I don't really use that often, but I just kind of have. I have a record player right here, and I also have a Kakashi poster that was done by Hello Senpai on Instagram. She's also a really dope artist. I love a lot of her work too. I also have a photo that I took in photography in college of my GTI that I used to have, and also the Gary Vee book on success, which I like reading too. I haven't read in a while, but reading some of Gary Vee's stuff has been nice. Yeah, and then above that, I have a New York City canvas that I really like. It's very minimal, very, very cool. And I also have some really, really sick pictures of it, because then Harris Heller reviewed it. Like, what? Harris Heller reviewed my setup and called it like the king of setups.
This GutzyAiden? Oh my gosh. Stream room of kings.
I really need to develop the setup more. I feel like the setup has gotten to a really good spot, but I want to keep adding and improving it. I am going to be starting a series on this YouTube channel, going through different setup upgrades and things that I'm going to be adding. And also, if you guys like the content and you guys want to keep watching these, make sure to hit that subscribe button, man. I've been trying really hard on these videos, and I really hope you guys are enjoying them too. Also, I just wanted to do this video to not flex on anyone, but to show my progression over the last 6 years. I started from legit nothing. I had a really shitty laptop with nothing from the beginning. This just shows that if you have time and dedication, you can make it really anywhere. You can upgrade anything. You can change your situation for the better. I don't want this to come off in any way like I'm flexing on anyone or anything like that. I just wanted to show you guys the evolution of my gaming setup, and honestly, I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. You guys supporting the mouse pads, you guys supporting my content, you guys supporting my Twitch, all of you guys that come to the stream and drop a sub every month. Like, you guys are the reason that I'm able to upgrade the setup and keep doing these things. And also the people that watch my videos all the way through. I really appreciate you too. And yeah, with that being said, if you want to see my full room tour, check out this video right here. And if you want to see more videos of me reacting to your guys' setups, check out this playlist right here. And thank you so much for watching. Deuces.